Bitcoin here, Bitcoin there. Some say its price is surging and will increase, while others predict it's just a bubble. Its value might be debatable, its existence, however, is guaranteed. Well, at least for the near future. Let's dissect it, but before that, subscribe the channel. Bitcoin is the biggest and oldest cryptocurrency in the world. There are no physical Bitcoins, only balances kept on public ledger that everyone has transparent access to. All of them are verified by massive computing power, and despite it not being a legal tender, it enjoys a huge popularity. It has given rise to so many other cryptocurrencies called altcoins. Just recently, its market cap hit more than $1 trillion before plummeting after a dual attack by Chinese government and Elon Musk. Bitcoin system is a collection of computers called miners that run all Bitcoin's code and store its blockchain. Because all computers running the blockchain has some list of blocks and can transparently see new ones with new transactions, no one can cheat the system. If someone needs to mess with the system, one needs to operate with 51% of the computing power of the entire Bitcoin system, and it's quite unlikely. Even if that happens, miners will fork a new blockchain, throwing the cheat's effort to the drain. In a nutshell, it's extremely secure. These miners can be thought of as the decentralized authority, enforcing credibility of the Bitcoin network and rewarding them for their efforts. New Bitcoin is released to these miners at a fixed but periodically declining rate. Balances of Bitcoins are kept using public and private keys, which are a long string of numbers and letters. They are linked through mathematical encryption algorithm that is used to create them. It uses P2P technology to facilitate instant payments. Each user, well, in theory, is an equivalent owner and contributor of the network. There is no central authority involved, and the virtual currency is moved from one account to another without the mediation of any financial institution. Bitcoin mining releases Bitcoin into circulation. It requires solving computationally difficult puzzles in order to discover a new block, which is then added to a blockchain. It adds and verifies transaction records across the networks. Miners are rewarded with few Bitcoins for this process, and the reward is halved after every 210,000 blocks. The block reward was 50 new Bitcoins in 2009. On May 11th, 2020, the third halving occurred, bringing the reward for each block discovery down to 6.25 Bitcoins. There are many hardware configurations that can be used to mine Bitcoin, and some yield higher rewards than others. Certain computer chips called application-specific integrated circuits and more advanced processing units like graphic processing units can achieve more rewards. These elaborate mining processors are called mining rigs. A mysterious person or group of people by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto started the work on code for Bitcoin in 2007. In August 2008, domain name bitcoin.org was registered, and in October 2008, white paper Bitcoin, a P2P electronic cash system that became the holy bible on how Bitcoin works today, was released. On Jan 3, 2009, first Bitcoin block, block 0, was mined. It was known as Genesis block, and on Jan 9, 2009, block 1 is mined and Bitcoin mining commenced. Hence, Bitcoin, a digital currency, was released. There are multiple issues with Bitcoin that have been raised by experts and institutional investors. First and foremost is an issue that is common with every cryptocurrency: its volatility. A currency's basic use is to purchase goods and services. However, if a currency loses 50% of its value in a matter of days, it can never be a reliable source of value. Suppose you convert $1,000 that can buy an iPhone into Bitcoins. You take your Bitcoins to go and buy an iPhone. The moment you reach there, you just find that Bitcoin has reduced by 50%, and now you would require another $500 worth of Bitcoins to make the same transaction. Meanwhile, it still takes $1,000 to buy that iPhone because iPhone's US dollar price didn't change. Therefore, Bitcoin can be an asset, but it cannot be a viable form of currency like common fiat currency. Second issue with Bitcoin is insane amount of energy it's consuming to mine a block of Bitcoin. As the prices of Bitcoin was rising, more and more miners switched to Bitcoin mining, resulting in more power being used. To increase the profit margin, most of the data centers are in developing countries where the electricity prices are cheaper, and most of them use coal as main source of energy. Therefore, sudden surge in price of Bitcoin will lead to deterioration of our sustainable goals. Third issue is a regulatory one. It's rival to government currency and may be used for black market transactions. The government may regulate, restrict, or ban its use. This lack of uniform regulations raises questions about its longevity, liquidity, and universal acceptability. Fourth issue is a security issue, as most holders of Bitcoin don't mine it. They buy it from exchanges which are vulnerable to hackers, malware, and operation breaches. If someone gets hold of your accounts and transfer your Bitcoins, it's like transfer of cash. It can be refunded only and only if a person who received them returns them. There is no third party, like in case of debit and credit card, that can be a layer of assurance. Fifth issue is lack of an insurance for any Bitcoin exchanges and Bitcoin accounts from government agency. There is also a risk of fraud where false Bitcoins are sold through Ponzi schemes. Having said that, Bitcoin has survived with everything happening around it. It still remains one of the most popular investment vehicles, and it's safe to say that it's backed by a very lucrative technology. We'll continue our journey understanding cryptocurrencies. Like, comment, and subscribe this channel. Until next time, take care.